Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the $1 Million Studio, which I have now upgraded to this rich mahogany study that has no books in it.
But you're a big reader, Alex. Yeah.
Give me a little time.
Looks like you've read a lot of books.
Well, I see what happens. I read them and then I just throw them away. You know what I
mean? You have read a lot.
That's what they all say, right?
One of those types.
I'm an Audible guy. I do Audible.
I listen to the knowledge. You know what I mean? We're back at the Spar Scene MMA Show to do some picks for this weekend's fights off the heels of UFC 301 in Brazil. Pretty tepid crowd. They weren't very excited about a lot of things. They were kind of even like randomly angry at Pantoja for some reason, which I'm like, okay, he's your guy. But anyway, I totally shit the bed, folks. And Jonathan Martinez clearly got hypnotized by Jose Aldo's just beautiful rippling muscles. And he forgot that he can punch and kick and basically got pieced up, eventually taken down and controlled. So there's another pick down from me, which means this week, Papa better pick super safe, super safe. But without further ado, we're talking about St. Louis, UFC St. Louis Fight Night, which is headlined by Joaquin Buckley versus Brad. Can you say it? I'm scared.
That's not the headliner.
Oh, Lewis.
It's not. Derek Lewis is that? Oh, that's right, Derek Lewis. I almost forgot.
He's still in
the
UFC.
Shouldn't even exist. That fight shouldn't even exist. They called Derek. They're like, listen, we're sorry about when we flew you down to Brazil and Jalton Almeida hanged on you for 25 minutes and didn't finish you.
That was a makeup fight.
I'm sure Jalton's DraftKings, if you looked at it on that night, you would understand his decisions in that fight.
Yeah.
But
kind of like Garcia putting what, $2 million on his fight with Devin Haney.
Ooh,
Ryan Garcia, it was plus 500. Yeah, so I think maybe Almeida did the over for his fight with Derek Lewis.
That is weird. So Inoue and Naoya Inoue, who is like one of the top like 3 pound for pound boxers, he fought in the Tokyo Dome over the weekend, which they haven't had a boxing fight since Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. That's how long it's been. So they had this fight and he got dropped early, but he said he had bet under 6. And he randomly turns it on in the 6, like right before the mark that he had said, and finishes the guy in time. I like that is some primo stuff to be able to bet on yourself like that. But without further ado, best bet.
Oh, show me the money, huh? Show me the money.
All right, so Alex got ahead of us a little bit with the Joaquin Buckley main event. It should be the main event. He called for the main event at UFC 300, the press conference. He didn't get it, but he is the co-main event, fighting Nursultan Ruziboev. This fight's interesting to me. Obviously, Joaquin Buckley's had his little run, 3 wins in a row against Fialho, Morono, Luque. The fight with Luque, it was impressive, but I fight the way Luque fights. He fights like he's sparring. Like, he's not explosive. He's not going for the kill. Like, he's just kind of like striking and coming out. And he's not super quick. I think that's where Ruziboev has an advantage, is he's fast. He's also 6'5". His last 2 wins are by first-round knockouts. He has 2 fights in the UFC, but he has around 40, 45 fights overall in his pro career. So he's got a lot of experience, even though he might not have known it. Because he's a new guy on the UFC roster, but he's dangerous, man. He's 6'5", he's quick, he's not slow, he's not lanky like Cedriques Dumas, who he fought in his last fight. He's also a tall fighter. He won by knockout, but arguably there was an eye poke in that fight, so I don't know if it was a knockout or not. But I think Ruziboev at plus 124, I think he's a live dog. He's a small dog, but he's a dog, and it's plus money, and I think it's worth it because I think Buckley's on his high horse right now. I think he's very vulnerable. He's full of himself a little bit. He's cocky. He's in his hometown. He's probably partying this weekend like he was at Vegas, going to the pool before his fight. So I don't know how focused he is in this fight. I think he's excited for it. I think he's going to try to come out and make a statement, and he's going to get caught. I'm going money line here, but I think this is a good pick with a lot of value.
Yeah, I think he's going to get controlled a little bit too, because that's a big boy, man. And isn't Buckley a little smaller for the weight?
He's 5'10"-ish. Yeah,
well, he lies about his shorter. his height. So I think he's under 5'10".
Yeah.
Rumors say he's 5'8", actually.
But they had the same reach, apparently. So, yeah. Same reach, but one guy is 7 inches taller.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's like Volkanovski. He's got ridiculous reach for like a guy his size. Like if you look at it, I forget it was for like 74 or something. I was like, whoa, unusual. Long reaches kind of leads me into my pick. We have Robelis Despain against Waldo Cortez Acosta, not to be confused with Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Very similar sounding name, but one's a big Billy Latina who we love. The other one is a fighter who beats up cans in the UFC. So basically, Waldo is a huge step up in competition. Okay, this dude is legit, but he's still a little bit of that sloppy heavyweight style that it's a little lumbering. It's a little caught in the mud. When I checked his record, I liked what I saw. His nickname is the Salsa Boy, which almost as good as the Pleasure Man. But bottom line, he struggles in some fights, like against Marcos de Lima and also against Andrei Arlovsky, who is really, really toast. In that last fight, man, they went into a decision, and he was doing well. He was dominating. But it's a weird thing to me if Andre is still staying in there with you like that. And I'm not saying you have to annihilate him in 30 seconds, but I feel like maybe 2 rounds we can get him out of there. So on the flip side, we got Robelis, who is a Taekwondo Olympian. Dude's a medalist. He's 6'8". His last combined fights are under 5 minutes. I think it's 4-0 or 5-0. I think yes, 5-0. The dude is ridiculous. Now, I think he's Cuban, and when people try to close the distance on him, the problem is they're getting hit on the way in by maybe 1, 2, 3 shots. He threw a head kick in one of these fights. The dude kind of parried it, and then as he's trying to recover, 2 more, and he's out, and then he gets hammer-fisted. So there's a little risk here that Robelis could maybe get a little more pushback here. I don't think he's going to finish him as quickly. But, man, I don't necessarily think that Waldo's the guy to stop the train. I don't think Despain's going to have huge problems until he gets to the guys like at the top of the division, the Tom Aspinalls, the Cyril Gans. You know what would be a really good fight for him is Alexander Volkov. Huge, rangy dudes. Maybe it'd be like that final test to see if he's ready. But this guy is absolutely sensational. And I think the UFC has a massive star in the making. He has that kind of like Francis Ngannou kind of vibe a little bit where he's not quite as like physically scary looking, but the KOs are coming. They're happening. So here I'm going to go with a TKO or I'm sorry, a KO. I think it's probably going to be either in the first or second round, but I'm riding with Robelis Despain minus 175 as a favorite.
Yeah, I also think he's more aggressive than Ngannou.
Yeah,
his fights don't go to decision. I mean, if you put him against Derek Lewis, they're not going to stand there for 5 rounds or whatever it was and not throw any strikes. He's going to get after it. So I think he's more exciting than Ngannou, to be honest with you. He's got the power, but he's more exciting.
Mm-hmm. Got kicks.
That would have been a fun headline for this fight night, but doesn't have enough UFC fights to make that happen. But
Dude, Derek and Robelis.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah. All right. So for my fight, I'm going with the fight that most likely won't go more than a round or 2. It's looking to be probably one of the better fights of the night. Surprisingly, the under for 1.5 rounds right now is minus 225, which is actually pretty insane for a 3-round fight. But yeah, so I'm going with Terrence McKinney versus Esteban Ribovics. I'm going with McKinney on the money line. He's had his ups and downs in his career. He had those 2 losses by knockout by Bonfim, but the knee, that was pretty crazy. And then he had the loss getting submitted by a guy who was really good at grappling. And then he's coming off 2 straight wins. Esteban hasn't had too much time. He's come from the contender series from last year. He does have a loss. And in that loss, he was getting pieced up. He was getting kind of tossed around. And I think that's what McKinney can do to him. I think that if McKinney needs to grapple him and push the pace on Esteban, he can. Esteban doesn't really have any impressive wins. Like the last fight he has, the guy was 11-5 and wasn't impressive at all. But the only issue with this, if it goes more than 1.5 rounds, we have seen McKinney slow down a bit. But with the odds saying minus 225, under 1.5 or whatever it is. I think that McKinney can close it out early, and I'm gonna have to take the plus money at 160, and hopefully can use the tools he has and improve his record and get this win.
He kind of feels like the tarantula, doesn't he? He feels like Jalen Turner, like that same body type and that same thing where he's like, if he can master the grappling a little bit more and like keep his distance, they're gonna be tough to beat, man. Tough.
Yeah. He's a fun guy to watch. I just hope he puts it together more consistently.
Mm-hmm. It's like Jalen, he just walked away after that last one. He was like, he wanted that moment, that viral moment, but if he had followed up, McConnell would have been toast.
Yeah. Just the fight IQ and just putting everything together with some of these guys can be an issue. It's like they have so much talent, but putting it all together inside the fight, they struggle a little bit. So it'll be interesting. And McKinney's only 29 years old, so this is an important fight.
Yeah. What are your thoughts before we finish on the main event? Derek Lewis, do you think this is his time where he takes a step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of deal? You think this is one of those fights, or you think he can actually get a run together and make another shot at least top 5, top 3?
I think he's probably going to win.
That's our analysis.
I think he's probably going to win, but here's my thing. It's going to be absolutely unimpressive. Like, he's going to do that thing where he's getting walked down and pressured and kicked in the legs and things are happening to him. And then he just randomly realizes, oh, wait a minute. I'm hungry. I got to get out of here, and just knocks the guy out. Like, that's kind of what he did to Volkov. He got dominated for 4.5 rounds. And at the very last second, he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I can hit. Knocks him out, sends him to the shadow realm. So here, like, the level of competition is clearly that. I'm not hating on it, but it's definitely a little bit of a step down from even a Jailton Almeida. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at his last 7 fights, he's won 2.
Ooh,
that's insane.
Yeah.
Well, how is Nascimento though? He's surging though? That's where
he's 11-1, so he's not horrible.
He's won his last 3. Beat Tanner Bozer, Latifi, Dontel Mays. Good wins. They're all by decision.
Mays. Okay.
So it's.
Let's see.
He's only had 1 loss in his pro career.
Dawkins beat him in 45 seconds?
That might be the reason he's an underdog.
That was 4 years ago, though.
Still,
he's cleaned it up. Everything's different now. Yeah, but I also let me give you a little bit of a feed on this because there's that like can crushing thing, like Ilir Latifi, for instance. He's actually a really good fighter. I like Ilir Latifi, but he used to be 205, and he's one of those dudes who's kind of like, dude, he's not even that much taller than me, I bet.
Yeah,
but he's so thick. But like, he should not be fighting a heavyweight. Like, dude, like even Derek, like he fought against Ilir Latifi, and he got thrown around a couple of times with some judo throws, but then he kind of figured it out and got out of trouble. Like flying knees and stuff helped him. But it could be getting to that point though, where Derek is maybe the game is changed so much that, listen, when he came into the heavyweight division, there was no Robelis Despains, there was no Francis Ngannou's, there wasn't like this new school heavyweight like even Tom Aspinall. Like Stipe laid the groundwork to become like a mobile heavyweight. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I got to say this, though. I don't really enjoy watching Derek that much anymore.
It's a 5-round fight, too. So it's not going to go 5 rounds. So I wanted to say, okay, like, you know what? I'm going to go all out in the first round, try to finish it. If I don't get the finish, I probably get finished. Probably has that attitude going into it with it being 5 rounds. I don't know. Yeah.
You're saying you don't think he wants to go the 5?
I don't think he wants to go 2 rounds.
He's there to collect the check, dude. They're using him for the name. Let's just be honest. They need to fill the spot. I mean, which is weird because when they had the fights here in Charlotte, Almeida didn't have that big of a name yet. I mean, obviously he was way better, than Lewis, but I don't know. I think it's just for the name, just to put it on the banner, put Lewis right there, use his highlights, use his funny highlights just to promote the fight. I don't give him a guy he can possibly beat. I think Lewis is going to
build the guy.
Yeah, maybe build the guy. So
he's a good fight night headliner, though.
Yeah, so I'm not even hating on it.
Not the Apex, like a live fight night, like in St. Louis, for example. I think it's a good headliner. because it's not a title shot, but it's the guy that everybody wants to go see.
Yeah, if he was fighting down the road from me, I would totally go just because Lewis is fighting.
Oh, 100%. And
it's
I
a
think
good undercard too. So I'm not saying this is a bad card. It's actually a really good undercard for a fight night. They didn't necessarily need Lewis, in my opinion, but
that actually, the opening fight was going to be my pick originally, but I didn't feel safe about it. Was Veronica Hardy versus JJ Aldrich.
I knew you were going to think about that fight.
I know.
I thought I was going to take it, but I was like, because Veronica Hardy's my BBG. She's my baby girl. Sorry, Dan Hardy. Also, we do have one thing. I just want to say a word about Charles Johnson, man. This poor bastard. He's on this card, and he is, again, an underdog. This dude has fought over and over again and almost won his fights and keeps losing by like the narrowest margin. But he's like the ultimate gatekeeper guy, great wrestler, great skills, but like he always just loses. I hope he doesn't get cut after this one because he's probably going to lose it. And it's like he's too good, or maybe he needs to move up a weight class. Have you guys seen him a couple of times? He's got like a weird like faux hawk reverse baldness.
Yeah.
I worry about that one.
Yeah.
It's just like he's a good fighter, but it ain't happening. His matchups keep going sideways. But one quick thing. What are your guys' thoughts about John Jones trying to redirect the sort of hype so that it should be Pereira? What do you think of that? Is he ducking? You ducking Tom?
I think so. I mean, I would be too. I think Pereira's more beatable than Tom. I think he's lighter on his feet. He's quicker. He's like shiftier. Pereira's just there's opportunities there. We said that when he fought at 300. There's opportunities there. I think he sees the same thing we do. Maybe we're like that high level. We see the things that John Jones sees, nobody else sees.
We see what the goats.
Yeah.
We have coefficient.
Matchups makes fights, dude. Okay.
Yeah, styles make fights. The comment section.
Styles make fights.
Max Holloway said that on the Joe Rogan Experience too. So
did he?
Yeah, he did. And I was like, yeah, stick it to him.
Yeah. Repost.
Exactly.
It's true though. Styles do make fights, and Jones sees a guy who's like clearly wanting to get takedown, and easy win for him.
He thinks it's gone. Part 2.
I think if the odds came out today, I would say John Jones is probably minus 300 over Alex Pereira. Let's say 300 minus 300.
Still dangerous fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
If Alex Pereira knocks out John Jones, guys,
bro.
That might be the end of you might never see me again. I just disappear into the woods. I just walk off on a Exodus.
It's like a 15-year legacy just tarnished.
Just destroyed. But you know what? We all
like a 3-year legacy. Not even.
Yeah, for Jones, I'm saying
no, I know, but I'm saying ruined by a guy who's only been a couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
He's had a cup of coffee here and he's already triple champ or something like that. It's just so wild, dude. But listen, Father Time's undefeated. You can't stop it.
They're the same age
for
though.
Everybody. Yeah, but fight miles though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know, and the drug miles too. I don't know. Just kidding, John. We don't think that you're using. You're totally sober, dude.
I don't know. Look at Garcia, McGregor. I mean, they're all successful fighters.
Exactly.
Right.
It's the best base for MMA, dude.
Yeah. He knows the secrets once again.
It's all the secret sauce, if you will. Anything for us before we wrap this, guys?
I think that's all.
No, nothing for me. I think that's good. If you guys are still watching, come clean on what
you've committed. No, keep it to yourself.
No.
Go ahead.
That's for the Patreon, dude.
Right.
But that pretty much does it. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're still watching this at the end with all,
You're probably asleep, Simon. Come on.
I don't know what they
give us the juice, bro.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you for watching the Spar Scene MMA Show, and we'll see you guys next time.
That's it. Let's go.
There we go. Peace out.
I can't even see my mouse, dude.